Marissa Miller. I am a CSUMB student service learning with Monterey County Free Libraries. And for this special Self-Care Sunday after the new year, I thought it'd be nice to show you how to do bullet journaling. So what is a bullet journal? A bullet journal is basically like a really personalized planner, and because it's so personalized, it's a little hard to explain the exact way to make one because there are about as many ways to make one as there are people. You can really customize it however you like. There's lots of examples online that are going to be different from what I'm going to show you, but this is just like a sort of beginner's way to do it that I'm going to instruct you through, and you can take from it what you want and leave behind what you don't need. But yeah, I'm just going to show you one basic way to start out. So the very first page I'm going to title as Index. And this is for, as you write on more and more pages, you might lose track of what was on what page. You can just write page numbers and say, okay, this was on page 3. I'll come back to page 3 and stuff like that. But you'll see what I mean. So for the next spread of blank pages, I'm going to write down future log. And for this in particular, I want to split it down into 6 sections for 6 months out of the year. So I'm going to try to eyeball 2/3 down the page and draw a line through it. So this will be for January, February, March, April, May, and June. And you can even do the next 6 months on the next page, or you can save that for later on. I'm just going to leave it like this for now. And this is basically a page where you want to write down, okay, I know that I want to do this big project by this point of the year, so I'm going to try to write that down so I can visualize what parts of the year I'm going to get what stuff done. So this is more for like bigger long-term goals. If you don't have any ideas what to put down right away, that's totally fine. I'm actually going to leave this blank for now because it might help to write down breaking it down more on the individual pages, which I will be showing you in a bit, instead of doing the big goals right at the beginning. So since I just wrote down, this is page 3 and 4 for the future log, I'm going to write that down in my index for the sake of organization, keeping things organized so you remember what pages everything's on. So the next page, I'm just going to skip ahead to the monthly log for January. So on the left page, I'm going to write down all the numbers, or all the days of the month. And next to them, I'm going to write down the day of the week because that also helps to visualize that. So this is a good way to really quickly overview how many days of the month you have to get whatever tasks done in that month. So on the right page, you are just going to write down a bullet list of various tasks that you think, okay, you want to get done in the first month of the year 2021. So maybe you have like somewhat bigger goals, but they're not huge long-term goals. They're not like tiny daily goals. They're just sort of like, okay, I'd like to get this done in the month. So maybe you have a project you'd like to do to get done that month. Maybe you wanna go somewhere. I don't know where. I'm just writing down. You wanna go somewhere special. You wanna maybe you wanna pick up a new skill. Or like start pick up practicing, let's say sewing. Like you want to start learning how to sew, so you like want to start learning the basics this month. And you can just keep going down for as many things, however few or many things you think you want to do this month. Even if it's like a ton of things and you know, oh, I'm not going to get done this month, that's fine, you can write them down anyway. Or maybe you just don't know right now and you can just come back to this later. You don't have to fill it out all right away. But yeah, I'll just keep that for now. So this would be page 5 and 6. So I would go back down to index and write down January log is on page 5 to 6. So on the next page, this is where we're going to really break it down into daily log. So it might be a little bit trickier to think of exactly how big you want. Let's say if you want to break it down into boxes for each day, maybe you're not sure exactly how big you want the boxes to be. For this, I would recommend just like at least a bit of space for each day, like maybe that much. I'm really just guessing off the top of my head because I've made bullet journals a bit in the past and I kind of did it this way. But you don't even have to do it this way. You don't have to break up in advance. Another way you could do it is you can just write the days as you go, but I kind of want to visualize in advance how many days I can fit on a page. So this would be, let's say, January 1st, which is Friday. Friday the 1st. Saturday. Sunday. Okay, so that's kind of like half-ish way through the month. So really with daily logs, I usually end up taking like 2 or 3 spreads to get like the whole month worth. The reason why you want sections for this is because here is where you're just going to write down some daily task bullets that you want to get done. Like maybe you want to go grocery shopping, except you probably wouldn't do that on New Year's Day, but you know, for example, maybe you want to, let's say, get 1/4 of a project done, whatever that means for you, because you're breaking it down into like really small daily tasks. And you would just keep doing that for each day, like just write down really simple, quick bullets for just a daily task. It could be, you could take your monthly tasks and like write them down like, oh, okay, so every Friday I want to start learning how to sew. I want to dedicate 2 hours every Friday to sewing. So every Friday of this month I'm going to write down sewing. You can do it that way. You can take like a big goal like project and write down like, okay, I want to get at least half of it done by like the 12th, for example, something like that. You can even just leave these totally blank and like fill them up the day before each day because you're just not sure what you want to do until right before. Like really, it's however the planner works for you. This is just a good way to like visualize, okay, this is basically how many tasks I want to try to get done within this many days, and so on and so forth until you finish the daily log for that month. After that point, I would assume I'm going to need at least this many more pages to do the daily log, so I'm just going to like write it down now for example so I don't forget. I'm not going to draw it all out right now because I want to go through this quickly, but like that would just be for January. That's a good idea for like the daily log setup. Okay, so now let's say it's the end of January, you've finished up your daily logs for the month. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come to our next set of blank pages. I already labeled this as the monthly log for February. You're going to write down all the dates as usual. I just stopped at 5 because, you know, this is February. We'll assume it goes up to 28. Just assume I wrote all that down. Here on the right side of the page, again, you're going to write down your tasks for the month that you want to get done. And of course, you're going to write down any new tasks you think of that you hadn't thought of last month, but for the tasks over the course of the last month, you're going to go over and just review what tasks you got done and which tasks you did not complete. So here I crossed out grocery shopping because we assume that I got that done. Here underneath, let's say that I did not get this task done. This 1/4 of a project I was not able to get done, and I still find that worth my time. It's still something I want to focus on. So what I'm going to decide first is this a short-term goal or a long-term goal? If it is if it's a long-term goal, then, well, first of all, I can mark that with, like, say, an arrow pointing this direction, because in this direction is my future log where I can write down, let's say, this is a task that I want to get done by May or in May, let's say. This is where the future log comes in for long-term goals, where for any tasks that you did not get done this month that you really want to still get done, but maybe it's just too big a goal that you fit into one day, and you realized it is really more of a long-term goal. You just move it over here. Now let's say I didn't do that. Let's say I decided this was actually a short-term goal. Then I would write an arrow going in this direction, and I'm going to write it down here to get done in the next month. And from there, again, I would just make another daily log for the month of February. I would figure out where I want to get that done. So yeah, that is basically just a very quick basic overview of bullet journaling. I hope that made sense. There is a lot that can go into this. It can get as simple or as complicated as you want to make it for your own organizational sake. And again, if you want to, you can use whatever highlighters or markers that you want, different colored pens. That can even help further organize things. Like maybe you can use different colors for different types of tasks, stuff like that. And you're just gonna keep going back to the index, keep writing down pages. You can even make different types of pages that are other than the logs that I mentioned. These are just very basic logs. But of course, this is your own personalized planner. You can put whatever you need or want to in here for your own organizational sake, and organize it how you want to. And maybe your journal will look completely different from mine. That's totally okay, because again, there are so many ways to make a bullet journal. This is just one way, and I hope that I explained it well for a beginning basic guide to bullet journaling. And hopefully you'll get good use out of this. You'll have so many pages throughout the year to make short-term and long-term goals and organize them in a very easy to see way, spread out over the months of the year. Thank you for joining me for this Self-Care Sunday to bring in the new year. I hope that you get good use out of bullet journaling, and remember to use it for your tasks big and small this year, for your long-term and short-term goals of 2021, and maybe even beyond that. And yeah, I hope you had a great New Year's, and thank you. Bye.